Zest is in, where resilience begins, not fixing the cracks.
Hello everyone and welcome to Zest is in with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that takes you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. I am super excited to welcome my guest today, Lovisa. She is a voice-based healing guide who helps sensitive and empathic souls reconnect with their authenticity and inner truth. Through her unique blend of subconscious work and the healing power of voice, she supports people to release deep-rooted patterns, rebuild inner safety, and finally stop playing small. Beautiful. So I'm just now reflecting on that, about what happens when the very voice we silence holds the key to our healing, and I'm sure she will reveal that today. And if you feel called, I invite you to share a little love by helping amplify my guest voice like Lovisa's today by subscribing for future episodes. It costs you absolutely nothing, but it allows this powerful episode and the wisdom shared here today to reach many more hearts and minds. So thank you. If you have done so already, and may this episode bring you the courage, clarity, and permission to express your truth through your beautiful, beautiful, beautiful voice. Welcome, Lovisa.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. And I don't know why I feel like sharing this, but I'll just share it because I feel like there's a reason why we share things. Just because I really want to go into, well, it is to do with the voice, because I think when we hear words and even visually when we see them, and I would love your take on this because I feel like there's a reason why I'm expressing this, it gives us like a feeling sometimes, and I really want to say that because I felt that with your name, and I never do this, but I felt intrigued to look up the meaning of your name, because I personally, I'd never heard of it before, and it was just, I just felt it was such a beautiful name, and I just wanted to know more about it. And if it's correct, it's to do with a warrior. Is that right?
Yes. Wow. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And there's a reason why. See, I don't know. I'm sure something might come out from it, but I went through most of my life just, saying people's names and not really knowing that names prior to knowing about the power of words, held real powerful meaning, and that what we often can name something or someone often can have an impact very much on that person. And I only discovered this when I was in my 30s, when I went to the Middle East, and it was only because I heard a lot of the same names, and I always thought, why are they all called the same? So I got curious, which is why this podcast became a reality. So and then I started hearing about names, and now I'm so intrigued by it, and I feel like your name as well really symbolizes, just from what I've read about you in your bio, and I think it's beautiful. So if there's anything you want to add to that, feel free.
Oh, no, I just think this is interesting. And I had my brother, he has, I don't think I'm gonna say his name if he doesn't want to, but he really feels like he should be called another name, actually. And my parents were about to name him that other name, but then they named him what he is called today. So it's really something in what you're saying. And this is not like, I never thought about this in this kind of way before, actually. So this is not what I'm used to talking about. But 100% it's something about our name. And it's so fun when you bring up that my name is, I think it's like... do you have another word for famous in England? Like not...
Yes, this is what I read, yeah. Famous warrior.
Yeah, famous warrior, yeah. And when I now look back at my life and see what I have done in my journey up until this point, I've been a warrior. When I understood that my name was called like a warrior, I understood my journey a bit more. So it's really cool that you're bringing this up, actually.
You're so welcome. And I'm really happy to hear that. And and also for sharing about your brother, and like, even though you didn't, we shouldn't share personal things without asking to start with, but equally I love that you shared that, because it's so interesting that that was the other name that your parents were thinking about, and that's the name he actually really feels in his heart.
Yeah,
like it gives me so much, like you can't even like put that, like, how does that even happen?
and then you can like take it a step further, because since he feels that that should be his name, why did he get that other name? Is it like a reason to that? Is it like he gets some sort of energetically different traits that he's supposed to develop? Or it's really interesting.
No, really, because I even hear that when you get married, actually it can change again, because it's not just your first name or your middle name, your surname also plays into it. So there's a lot of people again that I don't know, it's just very interesting. So with that in mind, I would love to know, because before we dive into where you're at right now, I always love to go back a little bit and find out, where did this all start? Like, when was that moment where you realized that frequency and the power of your voice really made an impact on particularly you to start with?
Oh, like my whole life, I loved to sing. That's been my thing. And when I was little, I always thought that I was going to be a singer. And I kept on going on that track, and I became a musical theater performer. But during my whole education to become a musical theater performer, I had so much trouble expressing myself on stage, even though sometimes I just got unlocked and I could do everything, and then I got locked up again and I couldn't express my voice, and my voice got stuck, and it was a struggle. And then I like, life pushed me so hard, and it wasn't my path, so I got burnt out. I got chronic pains in my body. Everything told me that something is wrong and you have to stop. And that was about, I think, 7 years ago. And when that happened, I understood how much I had suppressed my true self, my authentic self, because I felt I had to fit into a certain box in this musical theater world and in the world in general. So I think everything is connected. I've been a people pleaser my whole life, and that's something I'm working with today as well. But I would say that I'm a very conscious people pleaser, so I'm recovered.
I think you think, yay, okay, I worked out, and then you're like, oh, it's still following me.
Yeah. So it's like a whole continuous work. But it was that like moment 7 years ago when everything collapsed actually in my life, and I understood how I was navigating the world around others and my career, that I felt like, okay, I haven't been authentic, because and I hadn't been thinking about it consciously before, that I wasn't authentic. I thought I was authentic. But actually I wasn't, and that was made me sick. And that's when I woke up to this calling that your voice is so powerful and you need to express yourself authentically, and your voice is a huge tool for starting to do that.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing all that, because I know that, like, sometimes, when we say it back, it sounds with less emotion, but I know that would have been a really transformational time for you. And thank you for also highlighting the unconscious side of it, because when we say it again, it's like, oh, but no. you really are not like, oh, this is happening to my voice now, and wonder why all this is happening in my body. As someone who literally, like clockwork for most of my life, constantly had tonsillitis, again, the throat, because I thought I was expressing myself, and I was straining myself. I was going from times of like, okay, abort, I don't know how to deal with this, holding it, to then like, kind of letting it out, and then feeling really rubbish about myself, because it would be like, almost like, so condensed, and then it would be like, and then people are like, whoa, that like, and it was one extreme to the other, and people didn't know if they're coming or going, because it wasn't me. It was something that I should have just addressed straight away. And again, it's a journey. We're still, all of us could always improve on conscious communication, like, definitely. So thank you so much for highlighting that. And yeah, just thinking about that, you touched on a really, really important point there, that I think often is overlooked. And you know, there's probably a lot of people still that are like, really, it all relates, but from what I've noticed, and from many times I've spoke to many different guests, your body, as well as your voice, which is a part of your body, is so powerful, as you so beautifully said. And it won't always come in the area that's being blocked or suppressed or whatever, or overused. Often it will show up very creatively, let's use that word, and it's probably the wrong word that we normally use for it, in your body, on your face, externally, internally, and I think especially when it's internally, it is a lot more confusing, I think. And that's why I think it's so important to take time to really connect to your body before you start like just trying to do what most of us do, go get those antibiotics. And I am not saying that that is not what you should do, but I know I was suppressing even more, turning up, getting on with it, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. And if I wouldn't have got to a point where I actually sat and thought something needs to change, I would have had no tonsils today. We start removing things, you know, and you know, I know people have their tonsils removed, but you know, some people go to even more extremes. And I think we need to really go back to ourselves and give ourselves some more love and compassion, and take care of ourselves more, you know. And
yeah, and I think so much goes back to living authentically, even though it doesn't have to do with your voice, even though you have other pains and aches and things that you could maybe trace to something, a pattern in your life. Like, it's about understanding who you are and living from that place. And it's really hard because the world tells us like, you should be like that and you should be like this, and we learn maybe when we're children that a certain way we should behave a certain way because then we are loved, you know, and then people like us. It could be that we should take up super much space because then people see us, or we should shrink ourselves because then, oh, we're this cute lovely child that everyone likes. So it could be in different ways, but all of these patterns that we take on from childhood and society are often layers that we put on that block like our authenticity in a way. So we have to then remove all of these layers and come back to our core self. And when we understand, okay, this is me, this is what I think and feel, okay, how can I start to navigate from this place instead of all of these layers? I think that's when, at least in my case and many people that I have talked to since then, that's when the body starts to softening and you know, loosen its grip, because it doesn't have to scream at you all the time that something is wrong now. You know.
I hear you, and I think, and I'd love your take on this, but I think sometimes the confusing part as well is, you know, the version of you, me, last year is very different to the version now. So when you are consciously aware of that and you're kind of like, oh, no thank you, don't want that anymore, no thank you, you know, you start going through like, why did I do that, why am I being like that? You're also evolving, so it can be quite a confusing time. And I think, you know, just I think, and I know like it definitely isn't something you're like often laughing about and seeing that way, but I think when we add a little more humor to life and we actually see that version actually gave us so much to learn about ourselves, so much wisdom, so much like showing us what we don't want in order to know what we do want, I think we see that time and that version is very different, and we hold her with a lot more regard, and love, because we're all on a journey, and I think even in a couple of months' time I may be saying a completely different message, and that's okay, because we're always expanding, which is beautiful, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's so much about identity, and when we are like we're born into certain circumstances that like gives us a certain identity.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
And often, sorry to interrupt, but often everybody else is actually navigating that way. So you don't know any different. You just think, well, that's how everyone is, isn't it? And then you're like, oh, you don't have to be that way. Oh, okay.
No, yeah, 100%. And then like exactly as you say, like then we see that, okay, it doesn't have to be this way. Oh, who am I? And we actually, I feel like I said, like, we're peeling off all of these layers and we become our true selves, but we also have like the power to choose a bit our identity.
Yes,
who do I want to be?
Yeah.
And
beautiful.
And that's really interesting, but it's been like that our whole life. Like, we have always taken on an identity, so why wouldn't we be able to choose our identity also?
Absolutely. I love what you've just said, because I think again and again it's very unconscious sometimes, but I think when you're really stripping, there becomes a void, and so naturally when you take, you need to also give. So I love that you mentioned that, because it's almost like, okay, well, if that's not something I want to be or do or whatever, what would the alternative look like? I think that's a nice way to really to feel empowered and take back that control, because otherwise I think sometimes this whole healing thing, it just feels like stripping and then sometimes it's a bit like, you get to a point where it's like, okay, well, now I'm conscious of this, I'm conscious of this, I'm conscious of this, and you get kind of confused. But I think whereas bringing the clarity back is when you're like, okay, actually, rather than maybe the healing or the removing and the replacing, who is she? How does she show up? What does she do? And I know sometimes, like, externally you might not always be presented with opportunities straight away that can allow you to step into that role, but even day to day, how are you walking down that street? How are you speaking to people? What qualities are you reflecting? How, like, if you say you're this, how are you showing that in everyday life? And I think that's the embodiment, isn't it? Less about like, oh, I'll wait for this opportunity and then I will. No, be it now. And then you don't have this like this draining or this confusion or this like, who am I? Because you just are it. You're just the embodiment of it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it is also like you should be like kind to yourself, because if you've been a certain way your whole life, and then, okay, I know I am this person, I feel it, but how does that person show up? Okay, I have to start acting like that, and it won't click like this and happen during a day. It's a process. And I have such a great example of what you just said. And I think this also has to do with your authentic expression and voice. Everything is connected, because how you express yourself and what energy you're exuding out into the world, it's also sort of a communication. So everything is connected, I feel. So this was also a few years ago when I had really understood, okay, this is how I show up in the world. I always navigate around other people's needs. I always want to give, so I train myself. Then I stayed alone at a hotel just for one night, and I noticed how I was, because I'm very intuitive, so I feel other people's energy very, very much, and I always in the past adjusted myself to people's energy.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was walking around in that hotel and I felt, okay, those people, they don't like if I take up too much space. I could feel that energetically. So I tried to make myself a bit smaller. And then I felt, okay, now I have to, I really adjusted myself.
Yes.
And then I said to myself, like, okay, just try now to stand in your own power. How do you want to be now? How do you want to show up, even though you feel that they feel this way about you and that they are, all of that?
Yes.
And I really took that as a mission for that hotel stay, to really just stand in my own power and not adjusting myself. And then when I was checking out, the person working in the checkout.
Yes.
She told me, so I got like immediate proof. She said like, oh, I just have to say you have so amazing energy and you feel so empowered. Like she told me all of that. So I got instant proof that, okay, this works and people are noticing it and I can actually stand in my own power and people see it and they like it. It's not dangerous for me to do that,
But I love so much that you mentioned that, because what I think often, which you touched on so beautifully, and this is just what I'm hearing, it's not the truth, it's just what I'm hearing, is because I used to do that. I think because we feel that and we create that, we attract that. Whereas the moment, and again, like someone could be like, but then aren't you, you're then doing this version? No, because that's what you always wanted to do. And to start with, the nervous system, your brain, your body, everything is like, no, we've not done this and we're not going to do this. This just don't even go there. Like this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. But like what you did, that is the courageous move. That is the embodiment, because it's kind of like when you want to please, you please no one. And so why give everything out to try and please people that, are not going to be pleased anyway, because they actually feel that in authenticity, that they know that you're just trying to please them, because subconsciously, like what you say, we're giving off that message, because in our mind we're actually not that version. That's not really us. Whereas when you then stand, whether though everybody in that room does not relate to you, does not she thinks she's this or whatever, at least you showed up as you. And then look at that beautiful validation that you got. Not that we need that validation, but I think sometimes that comes as a gift to say, keep going, really proud of you. And it's interesting that you had to, whether that was one night or however long it was, that you had to first go through all of that with no approval, no instant validation, nothing, really own it, to then hear at the last minute, yes, girl.
Yeah, definitely. And that made me so much more confident that I was doing it right. I got like my little confirmation. And what you talk about now also, when you say that if you constantly please and give out, you will also, as you said, like you will attract people who demands that from you, who really wants that, who might not know how to fill up themselves, maybe with positivity on their own. So they seek you out, they feel your energy, and they use you as their little, and that's a thing I feel can happen when you are stepping into your power, however, whatever your power is for you, that people close to you as well will start to maybe question what you are doing, maybe send out vibes or say things that are maybe making you insecure of what you are doing, because they are so used to getting that from you. And
I hear you.
And they want to have you in that same kind of way that you were before, because it's giving them something. But then you really have to remember that you are living your life for you. Like you are the one living in your body. You are the one living your life. And you can't be something to everyone else, because then you won't be able to live for you. And it's so important to remember that.
Yes,
because
yes.
otherwise you can't move on with stripping away all of these layers and step into your power.
Yes. Again, thank you so much, and I can 100% relate to that. And I think sometimes, when again you're navigating yourself, you can kind of then be like, oh, kind of label these people. But then what we have to remember is they've only known that version that we only knew for this many years, pretty much most of our life. So of course they're going to be like, what is happening? Hold on, I always go to you to just tell you all my problems, and then I feel great, and you just tell me, you just sit there and you listen. That's your role. And it's not, again, and that's just a very small example. That's not saying that's what happens, but that's what we have to also give love and grace for, is that, okay, some people won't be able to handle the new version, and that's okay. It does naturally, there's people you want to keep in your life, but naturally, when you align with your authenticity, everything around you aligns. Is that a quick fix? Absolutely not.
No.
And so, there will still be people that, are always going to be in your life that will still not see that new version of you and still relate to the old version, and you are this and you are this and you are this. But I think rather than fighting that, which I know that there was a time where I was like, that's not me. I'm like, okay, do you know what? That's the version they think is me, and that's okay. That's okay, because I think actually when you go to justify and you go to validate, seek approval, then who are you seeking it from? Because you should know you.
Yeah.
And I say that, and that's definitely not like, there will be times where you have to go, remember, Shelley, remember. Wow, thank you so much. So thinking about all that you're doing and the power of the voice, and I'm loving this conversation with you. How do you then, because I think when it's us, we kind of, essentially, we can go and speak to people like yourself, incredible people, but essentially we still have to be the one that takes the action. We still have to be the one that shows up. So how do you support your clients or the people that you work with to really not only hear it, but actually feel confident enough to embody it?
I have like two branches that I use.
Yeah.
So I start with the first one. That's more what we have talked about, and that is connecting to your subconscious. And how you can do that is to, first of all, be aware of your patterns in life. How do I react in these situations? What are the repeating situations or kinds of people that always show up in my life?
Yeah.
And then go into that and analyze, okay, why do I feel like this in this situation? What are these kinds of people trying to say to me? Why do I meet these people who wants this from me or who makes me feel like this? So that is the first thing, like noticing your patterns. Yeah. And then it's a really, really good thing to do is, okay, so I am in a situation where I feel really uncomfortable and all of these patterns are showing up.
Yeah.
Then you can really tune into your body. If you can't do this at the spot, you can do it later on.
Yeah.
You can think about the situation and feel into, okay, where do I feel this sensation the most in my body? It's often anxiety, So where do I feel this the most? And tune into that sensation and start to really, maybe you can visualize, then you can visualize how it's looking. Maybe it's dark, maybe it's moving, maybe, all of that. Or you can just feel it and allow it to be there. And then you can go deeper and deeper into this sensation. And I often see it as a part of myself. So when you have identified where you have the sensation, how it looks to you or feels to you, you can ask yourself, like, what am I afraid of? Because it's really easy to work with parts of yourself. So it's a little part of me sitting maybe here in my chest, if I feel the anxiety here, that is afraid of something. And when you're doing this, like relaxing and you're guided into this, you can really start to get answers from yourself. And often it's like, oh, but if I don't do it like this, people won't love me and I will be left alone because you know, all of that. And then you can, as I often do then, is that I start to express this emotion, this feeling, this fear with my voice, because you know it sits in your nervous system. So it's an emotion that's stuck, and as long as it's you're not releasing it, it will be there, it will be stuck. So I usually I can just say like quick so people can try it for themselves.
Please.
So then you have identified it, you have asked what you're afraid of, you have come in contact with this little part of you. You open your mouth and you start to express this little part of you through your mouth, because then you're releasing energy. I'm usually starting with a ha sound because it's easy to sound on a ha, and then you can just see what happens and comes out, and you will start to feel all of these emotions, and they will change, releasing it from your nervous system. And then I also have to add that when you have done this and you're aware that you have this little part of you sitting here afraid of something, every time you're in a situation where you feel this part being triggered, you can take care of this part. You can consciously feel the sensation in your body and think, okay, I'm here, I know you're afraid of this because you're afraid of not getting love, but I am here now, I'm taking care of you. So you're parenting yourself in a way, and allowing yourself to express these parts of you that have been suppressed for a long time.
Wow. Oh, I love that. So it's very, would you call it somatic?
It definitely is, somatic vocal release.
I love it. I love it because, and thank you so much for clarifying that, because I think, again, when someone says express, I think naturally our brain goes to like saying it aloud. But what you've actually touched on, and I can imagine for some people at the start, like that feels very uncomfortable. Because I think there'll be still an element to start with of control, of like, you know, like, and then it's like, but you know, you're like, no, honey, let it out.
Definitely. Oh, and related to this, this is why I suppressed my voice so much when I was in the musical theater industry also, because one time I recorded a song and I felt super, super safe when I did it. So I sang from my whole body instead of just singing the perfect technique from thinking about it. And I felt this, and this is what I do now. So this was like the first step, but I didn't know it back then. I felt this tingling and release in my legs. So I actually got weak in my legs. And I got scared because I was like, oh, what's this feeling? And then can I do this? And what's happening? And I wanted to shut off. So that was one of the reasons why I felt like I couldn't express myself authentically, and why my voice got stuck so much was because I had so much inside of me that wanted to come out, but I was so afraid to let it out.
Wow. And it's so interesting that you're saying that, because just to touch on it quickly, because I feel like it's related. I remember when I had a position as a performing arts teacher, dancing, come on, let's go. Don't even tell me, like, we are gonna do this. And then again, there was music. I loved the music. And then obviously the drama. Come on. Not so dramatic, but anyway. And I loved it all. And then I remember there was a time and I was actually working with an incredible woman who is a phenomenal singer. And I remember she started picking up at it. And she said, but what about their singing, Shelley? And I was like me, I love singing. Singing in the shower, singing in my home. Now, even in front of these little people, you want me to sing? And they've heard you sing, and so much came up. And the reason why I'm expressing this is because I didn't know about the professional side of singing, of the warm up and all of that. So I had the blessing of us two like kind of co-teaching and seeing her in action, and then she equally wanted support with the dancing and etc. And it was the most magical thing, because I realized straight away I'm already like feeling anxious, even though I enjoyed it, and I didn't know more about the technical side of it, whereas she can hear and do all that. But the moment she showed me about warming up the voice, it was a completely different experience. We were giggling. So many emotions came up, which is why I really wanted to express that, because we'd say like, "Ah-wee," and then we would just start laughing, or we'd start like moving our bodies, and that's just what I'm thinking about with what you said, is actually that was really powerful, not only for me but for them. And I felt this thing started happening in my body, and I felt like, wow, I feel so amazing and so empowered. And probably within like a week, 2 weeks, I didn't care. I loved singing so much, and it was from my heart though.
Yeah.
It wasn't anymore like, okay, right, ready everybody, because we're doing it. No, I was being it, and I felt that that expression, like really like the children would pick up on that, and even the adults in the room, again, like the adults supporting me, we'd all be like and then they would join in, and it would become such a beautiful like celebration, more than a lesson. It was healing. It was really healing and connecting. So I love what you're doing. It's really powerful.
Yeah, and it's so cool that you're saying that, because like you created like an energetic release, energetic space,
and people would
everyone.
come past the door, and they'd be at the door, like it was something that was not just heard, it was felt.
Yeah.
It was really powerful, really beautiful. So thank you so much for that. And equally, it's so funny because I feel like life gives you like a little like this, and then it presents you with something else. And I remember, like, literally I was so blessed, they were all professional singers around me. I was the only one who enjoyed it but wasn't necessarily professional. And we used to do this like welcoming people in on a Monday, and they loved to sing. And then one day they were like, "Oh, Shelley, we think you should start off." And I was like, "What?"
Of course.
For professional singers to be like, "Oh, Shelley, we want you to start off," and then and I'm like, sorry, hello. Hello. But they were like, "No, we think you'll be great." And I remember that was life giving me another shove, like, no, you've been in your comfort zone, you're now in your little comfort zone with the kiddie winks, and now we're going to take you to another level to see if you've really embodied it. And I was like, ah!
But do you sing in like professional environments now, or was it more like a thing that happened then and then you moved on, or?
Like what you said previously, I feel like the role that I was in at the time provided me with many more opportunities to be able to. Whereas now, obviously, I'm not singing on the podcast. And actually, I think, which is really weird, I think I actually did not sing, but I was like, from the purpose. And I do it sometimes a little bit for your intro, which I've just realized now. But no, it's definitely something that now I'm having this conversation with you. I feel like there's a reason why we're having it, and I would love to get back into that, because I really felt different in my body, and it wasn't just the singing, it was the confidence I felt and the release. Like even now, thinking back to it, when you say about the somatic and the body, I feel this like incredible like memory of like, wow, that was such a transformational time in my life. And I was so blessed because I essentially had access to 400 children a week, and so I think that was like 26 to 30, it was a lot of lessons. And I was doing that like multiple times a day. And I would leave and I would really feel like I was like on cloud nine, like I would just be so full. And it's just making me remember that I noticed that I'm not doing that anymore. I listen to music and sing, but not at that level and that healing process that I used to do.
Yeah, it's so healing. I just want to add also that if you, for example, if you enjoy singing in the shower, now like taking singing and healing, and maybe you're trying out what I said before, like connecting to an emotion in your body and expressing it with a ha sound, and then see how it develops. When you have done that, you have really like connected to your nervous system. You have connected to your nervous system. You have connected to yourself. You're landed in your body, and then that's a really, really good moment to start to sing like affirmations or words of love.
So I do that.
Amazing, because then it's not only from the thinking place. You can feel it, and then you can also go even deeper and send it consciously to your body. So okay, I am amazing and I am loved, for example. Instead of just thinking that, you have now connected to your body, and then you can send it, and you can also feel how you are amazing and how you are loved while you're singing this to yourself, because voice is vibration, it's energy, and it will be so much more true to you when you do that, when you're relaxed and you have released already.
Wow, thank you so much. And again, you're just like highlighting to me that there was a time where I remember I was doing the whole affirmation thing, and it felt a little bit like to start with I was excited, and and then it started to feel a bit like, oh, we're doing it again. And so I started singing them because I just felt like actually I wanted to add some more joy, more fun. And even though again it was privately, it was connecting back to that child within me that used to dance around the kitchen singing Spice Girls and not care what anyone thought. Or in the back of the car I'd be singing where probably my siblings are like, shut up. But my dad would be there like, oh yeah, my little Spice Girl. And that's the thing, like there's a reason why as a child we are so unconscious, but we connect to that feeling that it feels for us, and the dancing and the singing, and then slowly then for example, like even saying about the ladies I work with, straight away I put such an expectation on myself of these are professionals, like one of them, she's been on a live, like she's very, very, very successful, but I placed that on myself. No one said that's what they thought, or that you're here, they're there, blah 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 blah. Like we are conditioned to straight away put ourselves down when we actually don't know what others see of our creations. And like what you said about that song, which was really powerful, there's singing, and there's really singing, and there's moving people. And I think you can only do that when you really let go. And of course, like you're the professional here, and I know like many professionals be like, oh, like there is the technicality, but I think when you really let it all out and let it go, that's when people feel the emotion and they're like, whoa. Even if it's out of tune, even if the band stopped playing, whatever, that's when people are like, wow, that's just really hit me differently.
Because then it's from a true place instead of all of these layers. So wonderful.
So I think the power of combining both, because I think there's many that can do that, but they don't feel they're good enough to be heard. But then that goes back to what we're just talking about. Who told you you're not good enough to be heard? Lovisa, it's been incredible. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but equally, if there's anything coming up or anything you feel like the viewers would really benefit from hearing, please share it now. It's your podcast, it's your episode, and I just wouldn't want you to leave not feeling like you've shared everything that you wanted to share today.
Oh, I feel like I have covered a lot. I just think it's so important to connect to your emotions, and you can see it as parts of yourself, and you can express yourself authentically. You can express these emotions that have been stuck inside of you by opening up and using your voice. like that's the conclusion to everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I've loved connecting with you today, and just it doesn't have to be linked to what we've said at all, just anything that comes to your mind right now. If there was something you could tell someone right now in this moment that they would really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
Ooh, it would be that you are enough and perfect as you are, even though you have perceived otherwise from the world, even though the world has told you anything else. You are enough exactly as you are, and you don't have to try and perform. And when you let go, your life will start to flow so much easier.
Oh, I love that. That was so poetic. Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And share a little love for the incredible voices like Lovisa's today. And you know what? Go and have a little sing-song, everybody. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Much love. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's the magic that Zest is in.